making sure the dragon head doesn't slip into the black puddings, which is still bubbling about. You get to the external section of you get to the entrance of the cave, where the zombies that Navixel hung up are now dead and just sort of hanging there. There you see Queen at the entrance of the cave entrance. Queen Melondrak and all the other Melondraks are currently taking shelter in the cave, not wanting to reveal themselves. Looking out beyond, you can see the heavy rain that was dumping down on the battlefield has turned into a light drizzle. There are small sections of sun shining through gaps in the clouds. Seems the storm has subsided. Whether that was Navixel's doing or the hags, you're not quite sure.
Both of
them. Looking out, you can see the battle is still ongoing, although not as intense as it was. You can see that entire sections of Navixel's battle line have entirely broken. And there's like small spots of fighting going on still where some Navixel loyalists are just holding the line, and other sections where members of the Waterdeep soldiers, the Bullywugs, and the Order of the Blue Moon soldiers, as well as Phaler's Rebellion, are mopping up.
Really safe.
As you see that scene, essentially, you see that the Order of the Blue Moon soldiers do have prisoners, like in little groups that you can see across the battlefield. It looks like they are taking who they can alive, and they're not killing everyone. Queen Melondrak sort of nods at you all as you approach and says, "I thought it best to wait here until tensions calm down out there."
Yeah.
What do you want to do?
We made a deal with the one who was within the forest to help us, rather than help Navixel.
I see.
Not something that a lot of people would agree with, but something that was necessary.
As you said, Archie, you notice someone approaching the entrance to the cave. It looks to be a young girl, probably about 18 or 19 years old, wearing simple armor, which appears to be Navixel armor, like Navixel's really crude leather armor that he was giving to his commoners. As she's covered in a bit of mud as she approaches you.
I still have my true sight going.
For the rest of you, you see this like young girl who looked to have been a fighter for Navixel, one of the commoners. Archie, you see the true form of who this person is.
This isn't my first rodeo.
As you see, the true form is this.
Well, would you look at that? They've arrived.
Queen Melondrak looks at you and says, "This looks like a random person. I don't understand."
Looks can be deceiving.
The young girl walks up and smiles and says, "That they can be."
We've taken what we need. You can gather what you want from the dragon.
Ah, very good. And I presume he couldn't run away?
No.
She giggles. Says, "I didn't tell you that was there, but I figured you'd figure it out and use it to your advantage."
Well...
Don't want the prey fleeing, do we?
He tried to flee and I ended up stopping him myself, but he would have been really stunned when he couldn't get away with your stuff anyway.
Says, well, he could have gotten away if I didn't change the password on the incantation.
Oh my god, you changed the fucking internet password! You changed the Wi-Fi password! I can't believe you did it!
Fucking wrecked it.
Ah, yes, this one is actually now an I.
Love it.
Evil.
Hmm.
Anyway.
Hmm.
We've got what we needed. You can get your fundamentum. And we can mutually speak another day.
Yes.
I don't know about the deal that you made with her. But with Scarlet. But
Oh, that's good.
agreement.
Well, that's going to torment her for quite some time. But a deal is a deal.
Hmm.
You have what you needed.
Hmm.
And I have what I need.
Indeed.
Is the other one here?
The other one?
Oh, you know, Arzenag.
They were. I told them to leave.
Oh, good, good. They didn't intervene, did they?
No, they just watched.
Ah, very good. It seems at least one of those dragons is good at keeping their word.
But the thing is, now that one is gone, the others are stronger. So.
Well, the one that crossed me is dead, and that's all that matters.
Yep, and now everyone gets to have their own area back.
Hmm.
Including you.
Well, until he decides to step in, and she sort of looks to the east, and the distance you can see the very tips of volcanoes and smoke.
Well, I think a lot of people want to step into this, but the thing is, I wouldn't be just worried about that.
Hmm.
There's a very angry, vengeful man coming from the hells. So he'll be the one that trudges through first.
Hmm. Oh, I've dealt with devils before.
Not a devil. It's a paladin.
Oh, you're talking about him.
Yes. He's back and he's acquired a very special team of individuals.
She smiles and says, I'm not too concerned about him. I know how to deal with someone like that.
Mm-hmm.
You stay out of his way.
Unfortunately for me, I need to get in his way.
Well, I'm going to politely ask that you don't drag me into his way.
Well, he might drag his way through here himself.
Then he will have free passage.
He's not after you anyway. He's after us, I guess.
Not quite. She points a finger at you, Scarlet. He's after you. You know that, right?
Oh yes, I'm very well aware.
Just to be clear, I'm not going to stop him if he does.
Didn't expect you to.
Good. Well, our deal is concluded for now. If you need anything, you know where to find me. With that, she begins to walk past you all. And enters the cave. Just humming to herself as she does so. With that, what do you all do?
Hoist up the dragon's head.
like sort of drag it out to be in view of where all the fighting's still going on, and hoist it up so everyone can see it.
Yeah, you're gonna lift it all as high as you can get it.
There are some like wrecked ballistas and stuff you can use as a prop to sit it up and move it about if you wish as well.
He's gonna just carry it over his head. Or try
Okay.
to.
Okay.
I think it would be cooler if we both grab a horn because we're about the same height.
True. I'll be
Hmm.
down.
Okay, you both grab a horn and just sort of begin to carry it.
Yeah.
And carry it towards the battle, towards what's left of the battle line.
Hmm.
You see, it was a bloodbath. There are dead on both sides, just laying in the mud. For Scarlet, you can see broken Order of the Blue Moon banners, half in the mud. You can see a few groups of Nivixel loyalists who are still fighting, although surrounded on all sides by a joint force of Waterdeep soldiers, Bullywugs, Phaler's rebels, and Order of the Blue Moon, sort of boxing them in. As you hold the dragon head aloft, what do you do, we'll say? To try to get these people to stop fighting.
Tiger would just shout, "Your leader has been killed. Surrender now."
As you call that out, I need you to make me a persuasion check.
I will
Oh,
roar as loud
actually-
as I can in
Hmm.
order to get
Yeah.
attention.
Yes, okay. You can have advantage. Tiger.
He would instead have said, because I just thought of it,
Hmm.
"Your god is dead."
Hmm.
Instead of leader.
Okay. You have advantage in the persuasion roll because Fenrir roars
Roar.
out. Roar, and it echoes out across what's left of the battlefield.
Do I have persuasions? I do have persuasions. It's a 15. That's a low roll.
Okay, so as Fenrir roars out, and that sort of makes a bit of the fighting stop from both your allies and the Nivixel loyalists, and they sort of look in your direction. Some of them drop to the ground and start weeping. Their faith was so strong in Nivixel that they can't handle this. Others call out, "They're lying! Nivixel's immortal, he cannot be killed!" And they continue to fight. So some continue to fight and some don't.
I think he would just yell, "We have his head," and he'd motion for Fenrir and him to hoist up.
Hoist.
As you hoist it up, unfortunately their faith is rock solid for some of them.
Wow.
And you watch as the surrounded Nivixel loyalists continue to fight and be put down. Those that are unwilling to accept the truth.
I'll be like, "Hey Tarkin, hold on to this. I'm gonna get some XP." And then
Tiger would.
So there are scattered battles. I'm not going to make you roll initiative for them because who's left is completely surrounded. But you can join in taking down, either killing or sparing those who are stuck to their beliefs. What are the rest of you doing in the meantime as Fenrir goes and jumps into the fray?
no mercy.
No mercy it is.
Tiger's just gonna hold up the dragon head for all to see.
Queen Melindrak's going to assist and cast a spell and create a rock pillar underneath the head, which hoists it up to be in view of basically everyone. And you can be up there with it, Tyken, if you want.
If it's going to be up, then he'll just be up there with one of his feet on its head.
Yes.
Big game hunter photo style.
Yep. Still just shouting out like your god is dead sort of idea.
Scarlet will help out the remaining forces.
Okay, as you go to help out the remaining forces, Scarlet, are you sparing them or killing them?
Spare.
Spare, cool. You see, there is, as you, Scarlet, join along with Fenrir, you both notice it's sheer desperation. They cannot. For those who are continuing to fight, which is about half of those who were left, they cannot accept what they are seeing. And they would, you presume, rather die than change after so long of being under Navixel's thumb or claw. As you join in this, Scarlet, as you're helping out, you see there are dead bullywugs, there are dead Waterdeep soldiers, there are dead humanoid soldiers that look to be Phaler's rebels, some of them commoners. And Scarlet, you do come across quite a few dead Order of the Blue Moon soldiers.
It's to be expected.
But you assist in the final doing this, and this will take several hours to take down the final holdouts, as they're sort of like the surviving Navixel forces that are still fighting are sort of finding themselves boxed in and are just fighting to the last. Tyken, you continue to yell, and eventually a few more do throw down their weapons. What is Archie doing?
I'd be looking around to see if there's anything that I need to do, or whether like everyone's morale was sort of like deteriorating from the fact that, Tyken has his head.
You can see what Tyken's doing is working, and there are those that followed Navixel that are throwing down their weapons. But in the heat of battle, with them actively defending themselves, it's hard for them to look away to see this head. And you do see in others that they're so indoctrinated by Navixel that they can't accept it. You also see there are entire groups, probably groups of 50 to 100 at a time, of prisoners that are being chained up and are being moved about by some of the Blue Moon soldiers. Prison. Yep. As you watch, Archie, these groups of prisoners are being moved along, and suddenly one of them calls out, "Navixel never dies!" And then they erupt and turn into a slard, which then breaks out into a new fight among the prisoners. This is going to be a fairly long mop-up process, you ascertain.
Yeah.
Get you to make a perception check for me, Archie. As you survey what's left of the battlefield.
I didn't open up my sheet.
Oh, you better do that.
It takes a while. Being a wizard on Roll20. I perceive.
Ooh. As you look over the battlefield, you see sparse fighting breaks out among the prisoners as slards erupt from some of the prisoners as they just decide to go down in a blaze of glory. But the Blue Moon quickly puts them down. You also see, Archie, One of the members of the Order of the Blue Moon. Because your true sight's going, you can see this. You see this guy, who you recognize as Kyrin. He's one of the lead clerics for the Order of the Blue Moon, in particular the section of the Blue Moon for the Raven Queen. And you see him wading through the mud and finding the dead Blue Moon soldiers and performing last rites on them. And with your true sight, you can see there is a figure cloaked in black feathers with a porcelain mask standing over each one.
Oh, the mask. Oh, sorry, I didn't catch the last bit.
A porcelain mask.
Okay.
A woman in a porcelain mask wearing just a cloak of black feathers. That is just dark.
Interesting.
You recognize this is the Raven Queen.
Wow. Why is she here?
You see her because true sight, but you see that she's there overseeing each one of the dead Blue Moon soldiers as Kyrin goes up and does their last rites.
Oh, I see. Here for the dead, right?
Yeah. Yep, basically. You also see Archie. You see there is back from the main battlefield. You can see the Blue Moon has a medical tent set up, and they are tending to the wounded.
Yeah.
You do see in the tent, Dawn is in there. That Aasimar you saved from the Abyss.
Yeah.
And she is badly wounded. You see the Bullywug's frog Hemoth.
Oh, nice. Let's go.
It's half of its body has been warped by acid burns, and it is currently roaring as the Bullywugs are attempting to like help it. It was wounded as well. You, Archie, ascertain the following. You determine Navixal's forces have been decimated. There are very, very few left compared to how many they started with. And as the mop-up continues and more turn into slards, that number is dropping even further.
Yeah.
Based on how many Waterdeep forces you knew were coming, you're pretty sure about a third of them were lost in the battle. While you were successful, Navixal's forces were very, very numerous, and they took heavy casualties. You also see Verge and Squeak.
Yeah.
Verge has some minor acid burns and a few cuts, and that's about it. But you see,
Yeah.
Verge is in the process of reattaching a wheel to Squeak.
No.
Squeak is not destroyed, but Squeak is badly, badly damaged.
Yeah.
You do see Phaela. She's alive.
Yeah.
She is currently helping take down the last holdouts of the Navixal forces. And in fact, Thanareya, you end up fighting alongside Phaela, taking down these last holdouts. While she's wounded and covered in mud, everyone's covered in mud, Phaela is still fighting. But Archie, based on what you can see, probably half of Phaela's rebellion fell in this battle. Most of them commoners, who were just fighting for their freedom. Also, Archie, you think about a third of the Bullywugs have fallen in battle.
Alright.
Yeah. And also, based on what you can see, Archie, and based on what you, Scarlet, learn as you fight alongside these Blue Moon soldiers, about 60 or so have died in the battle. which is relatively small numbers compared to the rest, but considering there's only 500 Blue Moon soldiers in total, that's significant.
Yeah. That is very significant, but still.
Navixal's strength, you determine, was in mass numbers of just indoctrinated and enslaved people. And that strength is gone now, but at a cost. Is there anything you want to do for the next few hours as the mop-up continues?
Rest, I guess, and help people that need it.
Cool. Tycan, are you going to stay up on the skull?
Yes.
Continuing to shout.
Up.
As you can stay up on the skull, Tycan, and continue to shout. It does help with some people throwing down their weapons, as the Navixal forces do realize the battle is lost, and whether or not that is really Navixal's head, the outcome of this battle is clear. You do watch as Valiant runs into the fray and starts helping people where he can. Igna joins up with you, Scarlet, to help mop up the remnants. About 3 or 4 hours pass as Scarlet and Thunray, you just fighting for hours against last holdouts, against people who just refuse to quit, until eventually the battlefield does fall silent. As the last holdouts have been taken, Thunraya, you were approached by Eliza of the Blue Moon.
Yes.
Who is covered in mud, head to toe, has a nasty wound on her face, but is still fighting, or was still fighting. She approaches you, Thunraya, and says, Thunraya.
Yes.
I need your help.
Yes.
Some of them still carry slards, and she gestures at the crowds of now prisoners of war. Do you think you can help us sniff them out?
Yes.
Good.
Girl, you got this thing, girl. Go get it. Go get it.
I whistle for Kalia.
Yep, as Kalia wades through the mud as well. As you join up, I'll get you to make me a perception check with advantage as you move past the crowds of just people. Disarmed, chained up, tied up.
That's a 30.
Cool. Thunraya, you have the grim business along with some other Blue Moon members. And Scarlet, you can be there as well if you want, although you can't help with smell. Scarlet, do you want to be there as well to help?
Sure.
Cool. As you move along with Thunraya, Kalia, and a handful of other Blue Moon soldiers that are all in their werewolf forms, moving past the hundreds of prisoners of war, and you watch as Kalia and Thunraya sniff. And as you sniff, as Thunraya, you sniff with Kalia, you are able to smell the faint sulphurous smell of a slard tadpole in a handful of people. As you notice them, Thunraya, what do you do?
Okay, what do I know about the slard tadpole?
You know... Can you make a history check with advantage? Because This is something that Thanraya has done in a past life. Hunt Slards.
28.
Cool. So you know that Slard tadpoles have a gestation period. However, you've also so like after a period of weeks or so, they will turn into Slards regardless. However, you have witnessed it several times through this whole through this whole battle thing, that they can be activated on the spot.
Now, is the activation external or internal?
The activation is external from a crystal that that another member of Navixel's forces would break, which would then activate the person transforming.
Okay.
But these people have not transformed. The battle has died down entirely, and they are currently among the people.
I
The
will
prisoners.
assume that nobody has a crystal, and I will just point these people out.
Okay. As Scarlet, you're there. As Thanraya just sniffs and just points at the first person she detects one on. For Scarlet, it's a 19-year-old looking boy, currently in shackles, head down, just being held with a bunch of other prisoners. What do you do, Scarlet?
I can't really do much.
Well, Thanraya has been smelling for Slards and has pointed a kid out.
Correct.
Among the prisoners. What do you do with that information? Archie, you can probably be there too if you want.
So these have been infected with Slards, right?
Yes.
Is there any way that I know of removing Slard tadpoles humanely or not?
Get you to make me a history check with advantage, please.
Well,
Nice.
Cool. Just looking at this. Yes. So Archie, you have researched Slards before. They can be removed humanely.
yeah.
It is an extremely difficult out-of-game a medicine check to do so for each person, or a greater restoration spell.
I'll look around for any paladin friends and any cleric friends and anyone who can cast that spell. And I would go to them and I would point out like the group of people who have been infected with Slards and be like, these people need to be greater restoration, otherwise they will turn.
So you find some of the clerics of the Order of the Blue Moon, because they're the most skilled ones here. You do, and the clerics are in mop up as well, basically doing healing on people. You find one of them, the Aasimar lady Vindra, who is not flying with her wings because one of her wings has been slashed pretty badly in the battle.
Yeah.
As she approaches and says, "Oh, you survived. Very good. What do you need?"
How many of them are there?
How many of them are there?
As you look back at the people, as Thanraya, you're pointing at them, and either Scarlet or some of the Blue Moon soldiers are in the process of separating the crowd. There are currently 30 or so out of a crowd of hundreds.
Yeah, I'm duck goosing them.
Yep, visually.
There is about 30 of them that I've been told. It might be a process.
And as you say that, another 3 are pointed at by Thanraya.
33.
Vindra sighs and says, and
It's going to be a long night.
and you think,
I don't think I know. They've
So
been
it-
affected.
I see. And you think Greater Restoration will fix this?
I don't think I know that Greater Restoration will fix it. It's either that or it's going to be an extremely hard, maybe dangerous procedure by hand.
That's a very difficult spell to cast. I can do it a few times. It's unfortunate, but I don't think we can save them all. Thanray,
I have an idea.
Thanray, you point out 5 more in the time of this conversation.
I have an idea.
Hmm.
Can you help me?
I can.
I need a little bit of time first, though, while they're still picking out the remnants.
Hmm.
I'm going to take a short rest, which we've probably already had, right?
You have had a short rest in this time, yes.
Okay. I'm going to get back a level 5 spell slot,
Mm-hmm.
and that means I can get half, so it'd be I can get level 1 as well if I need it, which I do.
Mhm.
So I'm going to get level 1. Sick. Pog.
Mm.
Pog champion.
Mm.
Matt,
Yes.
I would wish to round up all the clerics and paladins of the Holy Alliance, and I would like to create a... I'd like to do something.
Okay. This is the opportunity to do things.
Basically, because we have people that have the power to do so of the powerful spell, but
Mhm.
not, you know...
Not enough, and also, Vindra does inform you. It takes 100 gold piece of diamond dust per casting. For that spell.
Matt,
And while they do have some resources, it's not enough that they have to heal that many people.
okay, Matt.
Yep.
Archie's going to do an Archie thing.
Okay.
Alright. I'm going to get all the infected when they're done, as well as all the paladins and clerics to come around. We're going to be using a heap of the money that we just got and whatever we can that has diamonds inlaid,
Yep.
like chalices and stuff, and we're going to do a big ritual circle of restoration with all the people who can cast divine spells. And I am going to usher them all how to do it in a teaching style to try and restore all of them at once.
Literally, Thenrai's face right now at the thought of expending all of that money.
I'm not expending all of it. It costs
Yeah,
100 gold piece worth of diamond dust.
Per.
Would
So
not
it's
be
going to
per
cost us
person?
like 5,000 gold probably total if there's 50 people.
Hmm.
So out of the 28,000 gold that we got, it's going to be like not even a third.
Yeah, well, that's still a lot of money. Surprise pig.
But it's also, these people can also make a lot of money, Josh. And they'll be indebted to us,
Hmm.
which is worth more than money.
See,
Hmm.
this is why Archie's the smart one.
Yes. As Scarlet, you are part of the
We're
process.
starting an MLM here.
Tyken, are you down from the skull now? As the dividing
If
itself?
I'm
They
needed
need
by Archie.
Tyken here because Tyken is the word of morale here. And everyone
cool.
of the Holy Order would definitely be happy when they see Tyken start doing some restoration stuff. And this will
Yeah.
also help Tyken in his clerical learning and duties.
Yeah, and
True.
and Charlie assists, although he can't cast a spell. He's of a clerical nature now.
No, but I'm just trying to get anyone who can use divine magic to work on this spell together.
Yep.
And use their magic the best they can to make this spell work.
Okay.
Even that of the arcane art can bend the weave to put magic within this spell.
Okay. So as you prepare this and teach these clerics and paladins on how to do this.
It's going to be like
Um,
chanting, like this, like
Like
there's a
like
somatic
a
and verbal component for this spell, but I'm doing it on a vast scale in like a ritual circle around and through all the infected, as
Yep.
well as putting as much of the currency needed to actually cast the spell, the material component, to do this. As a tribute to the spell, because that's how spell casting work, and Archie is a master of that. So,
So as you prepare and and teach them and teach them because you're a teacher, on this what is essentially a mass greater restoration.
Yes.
In the meantime, as you're teaching them this, and they're all sort of going along with it, Tykan, you're there going along with this as well, I presume.
Yep.
Thanrea, you go through and pick out more and more people, and in total, there are about, and I rolled to see how many there were. There are 312.
312. God damn.
I fucking collapse.
And it isn't a neat process because you go through and sort of Thanrea, you point out one person who's like a child, and they're dragged out of the group, and then there's parents screaming at you to keep our children with us, sort of thing, and it's awful.
So it'd be 13,000.
30.
No, you said 312.
It is Archie. You calculate.
Yeah.
312,000 gold piece worth of diamond is going to be needed to cure this many people. At a higher gold piece per.
Wait, that would be 30,000, not 300,000.
Yeah, it'd be 30,000.
Oh, sorry, I got an extra number in there. Whoops.
It'd be 31,200.
31,200 gold piece of diamond. As you calculate this, Archie.
Or of things worth that, right?
It has to be diamond dust.
Or does it?
You can make an Arcana check if you like. To attempt to alter the spell in such a way to make it use gold instead of diamond.
Well, it would be to use like things worth worth rather than that.
Yeah, things of worth rather than the specific diamond dust requirement.
30.
30. Cool. Cool. So Archie, as you calculate that up, and Eliza, the leader of Blue Moon's with you, and she sort of like leans over to you and whispers to you, Archie, and says, "I don't think we have that much of diamonds. I'm willing to give the order to do what's necessary. Like I will shoulder this burden."
I'm literally mumbling to myself, and I pull it, and I just like. Because we got party loot as well, which would have to go with the money. I'm like, right, fucking blah, blah, blah. And it's like, fucking do what you want.
I'm just checking some stuff real quick. Give me a moment.
You can always take a stop by that river of gold to get more money anyway.
Well, we already have like 16,000 gold in our party loot as well, just saying.
Yeah. That's what
but as Archie does this, you all realize this. Navixel has engineered the situation for even if he loses, you lose too.
Yes, but I don't like losing. And Archie is a very sore loser.
But we also have, like Tykan said, a river of gold.
But Archie, with a 30, you're pretty sure you know how to alter the spell for this particular case, to make it use gold. Or values of 100 gold piece per rather than just diamonds.
Can I do it with magical items worth that too?
Yes, with a 30, yes.
Or just like Ah, yes. Archie has an idea.
Hmm.
Matt.
Yes.
Archie says he'll be right back to
Mhm.
Vindra.
She says,
As
okay.
I draw, I use one of those pages with teleportation circle,
Yep.
and I teleport back to our hideout.
Okay. As you teleport back, the steward greets you. Says, greetings. How was the battle with the dragon?
We defeated the dragon, but we need about
Marvelous.
32,000 gold piece worth of magical stuff, and I have an idea. But I need to rest first. Give me a moment. I go into the pod and rest
Okay, you jump in, and a few minutes
real
pass,
quick
and you pop out.
as I long rest real quick.
Yep.
And then I am going to go to Akantea and start collecting scrap and all the the plasteel items and stuff that are worth a lot of money.
Yep.
That are laying around.
Yep.
That could be used
Mm.
in this ritual. I don't care how much I can get,
Mm.
as long as it takes, like, there is a lot of weaponry, there is a lot of armor, there is actual full armor sets of the scouting sets that we left behind that are
Yes.
actual magical items that are worth a lot of money. I'm grabbing them.
Okay.
So
Okay.
whatever I can do in the next, 30 minutes to an hour or so.
Yep. So you grab as much as you can.
Yes.
Bag of holding it or whatever you need to do.
Yep.
Archie, it won't be a 1-for-1 transfer,
No, I didn't expect that.
but there will be a dramatic reduction in cost.
And that's what I need to keep Tenraya happy.
Yes. The ritual continues. Tycan, you have to watch this awful situation as children are separated from parents, parents from children, as the ones separated have flood tadpoles in them.
Can I say something to the
Yeah.
crowd? I'll say, I know this is a difficult situation, but it's
One of the
either you let this happen.
as you get to that as you say that get to that
Yeah.
point, one of the older men in the crowd calls out, "You killed our god, and now you're taking our children."
I will ignore what he said.
The crowd starts to get angry.
I will say it's either you let this happen and they survive, or we kill them. Those are your two options. Which one would you prefer?
The guy shuts up, but his outburst has inspired others, who start shouting, "I'd rather die in Navixhal's name."
I literally
I'll be right back. Dinner time.
swipe.
Yep.
I will just swipe and tank somebody's head off. Like a person who just said that.
Yeah, it's like a middle-aged sort of man. As you do that,
I'll be like, so be it, and then I'll just like bang.
cool. As you do that, half of the crowd duck and sort of begin to hide, and the other half start to get angry and start to break against the chains.
Do you truly wish to see your young dead?
The Blue Moon soldiers step in and start to point weapons and things. Tycan, are you doing anything as this is going on?
I can withstand up and approach.
Yep. The crowd are getting quite restless. It's
And he'll throw that dragon head in front of the crowd.
Say anything as well.
Your god is dead. Stop what you're doing now. You brought this on yourselves, and these are the consequences.
Make an intimidation check.
Advantage, because I'm here, please.
Yes, advantage.
Damn it.
Son of a.
Do you have inspiration? Does anyone have inspiration? Because if anyone has inspiration, you can reroll. We can give it to you. Hand it over. Give me your inspiration.
I don't think anybody's been given inspiration for a long time.
Matt, give me your inspiration.
Okay, you can. Okay. At some point you would have had inspiration, so you can roll. You can reroll that.
Right.
You just need to ask very, very bluntly.
I will say, please remind me to give you inspiration because I always forget.
That's the 26, right?
Cool. Yes.
Honestly, I would have given inspiration for Josh actually going against the norm and actually slicing someone's head off in this situation anyway.
Exactly,
yeah.
Yeah. But in future, tell me that action should get inspiration, and you'll probably get it.
See, the problem is that I don't want to make actions just to get like that's.
No.
It's
well,
hard.
the thing is, like, it's against our norm to usually kill someone like that anyway. So, and you did it. Right. The other inspiration would be like Archie going out of the norm to create this giant fuck off spell.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I don't want to be like, give me inspiration because I think I did good. It should be on someone else, right?
Yeah. So to be clear, if someone does something like that should be worthy of inspiration, and the rest of you think they should get inspiration for that, then
yes.
Okay.
Let's keep that in mind.
This is okay. I would just like to comment on that. Can we say Tyken just used his? Can we give everybody inspiration now? Just because I 100% think that I would have said that other people would have gotten inspiration in the past from their actions.
In future, yes. In future, we can. But Tyken, as you call that out, the crowd that were getting quite angry see this 7 foot tall, like they see the Tyken, and they begin to fall silent. Still a bit of
not worthy of anger.
There's still a bit of they're still very upset, Tyken. You can definitely tell that. But the will to fight is draining once more. Tyken, it was very nearly about to turn into an absolute bloodbath. They were ready to fight, despite being surrounded by people with weapons and having no weapons themselves.
The worst part is at this point, Tyken's having a very difficult time carrying.
Who wins? A group of peasants with no weapons versus a werewolf?
The tensions are still high, but they are starting to die down.
I'll be back soon, don't worry.
He does,
I point. Hold on. I point at the dead body that I just created. And I will look at the old man that spoke up.
Yep.
And I'm like, that's on you. And then I'll walk away.
Hell yeah.
He stays quiet. You can hear, as you walk away, Thanrea, a few very quiet muttered prayers among the prisoners to Navixal.
I kick Navixal's face as I walk past it.
Yep. Is at this point that Archie, you return.
Hello, I'm back.
It's like
a lot better
clank,
for that, too.
Clank as a bunch of weapons appear next to you. Archie, you arrive just as you see there is a body a headless body among the prisoners. And it looks like tensions are high, but starting to drop. And you sort of appear as Tyken has just finished shouting at them.
Good work, Tyken. And I'm guessing that was Thanrea.
I'm shocked. I'm shocked you assume it was me.
Am I wrong, though?
No, but still.
Anyway, help me get these weapons and armor and all this stuff around. You save some money from it.
I basically teleport right next to you.
Okay.
Yes,
Anyway.
sir.
So I'm going to move all the armor pieces and weapon pieces and all that are going to be used in this, as well as I'm going to, depending on what you say, worth, like, we have 24,000 gold piece worth of treasure and a heap of shit that I just got from McIntyre. So
Yes.
depending on what you deliberate is a worthy sum for us to come out with this, I am happy to agree.
So, after burning all of the gear that you've just gotten from McIntyre,
hmm
you surmise, Archie, that you will only need about 12,000 gold piece worth of valuables after the magic items.
So we have 12,000 GP of
Yes.
treasure
Yes.
left. So we saved half. Very
Thank-
good. You're welcome. You're welcome, Josh.
As there are a lot of people that are infected.
I'm Archie. I don't like losing.
Mm.
Anyway, I'm going to get everyone in position where I think is right. I'm going to make sure everyone has like done their rehearsal of the prayer, as they should probably mostly know most of it. Most of them would know
Mo-
normal
Most
restoration.
most of them know it. Most of them know it. Valiant unfortunately cannot cast the spell. He only has 4th level spells available.
It's fine. He can put magic within. Like anyone who can't cast it, like myself included,
Can help. Yeah, can help.
can help putting their magical energy into it.
Yep.
Technically,
Charlie,
I can.
you can if you want. I can as well.
I just don't have it prepared, so that's the problem.
Tycan can help with with holy magic regardless.
Yep.
Yeah.
Standing next to you, Tycan, in this large circle of clerics surrounding the center, large ritual circle that Archie has produced, containing within which is all 312 infected. Tycan standing next to you is Charlie, using his own very limited but still helpful healing magic.
Ah, that's nice.
Um,
That helped take up Tyken's mood a bit.
hmm.
It seems the head can't be reattached.
But Archie, do you give the word and the ritual begins?
I give the holy word.
Okay. Because there's not really going to be any battles going on, it's very clear it's gone down. You burn a number of spell slots.
Yes, I don't care. I'm going to be resting after this anyway. It's just
Yeah.
a matter of I would try to keep one so we can teleport. Pretty much. I don't care if I use everything else, but like one level 7 or one level 5. Like
You burn however many spell slots you wish to burn. The same for you, Tycan, as well.
I burn everything.
I can dump them all, but it is.
Yeah, I burn everything but a 7 and a 5, pretty much. Probably.
As all the clerics dump what they are willing to dump, and all the into it. They do spare some because there is going to be some healing and patching up to do after this.
Yep.
On their own people. But as the ritual begins, Archie, and they all begin to focus.
Basically, what happens in my head canon is there is like an octagonal friggin' holy sigil that like forms on the ground and locks into place. And then the magical energy sort of siphons from all of us to a center point in like a dome. And slowly goes down, and then there's a giant just like beam of light that just shoots off into the sky. Like, as the magical items sort of like float up and get drawn in with the magic, and then it's just like.
And there's a flash of light as the dome rapidly goes inwards, and all of the people inside, the infected, begin to convulse. And they all begin to spit up what looks to be black ash. What's left of the Slard tadpoles within them? The light fades. And Archie, you're not sure if it worked. Thanrea, you know it worked.
Congratulations, you all get to live.
Other than that one guy with his head taken off.
Oops. Most of you get to live.
They're all sort of just panting in the middle there, feeling a bit feeling strange after that. The Blue Moon people move around and sort of sniff them to double check, but Eliza nods at you and says, "You've saved many lives today, Archie."
It wasn't just me. Many hands make light work, and this was light work. He has a smile of like, this was not light work. Anyway, we should keep, like, you know, cleaning up and making sure everything else is alright, and making sure that people who want to cause a riot don't cause a riot.
Looking over the crowd, you can all now see while many of them are just staying silent, you can all see there are those among the crowd that are still praying to Navixel. Praying for a sign.
There was a sign that just fucking unleashed upon them to save them. And it wasn't from Navixel.
I think would actually drag the head over and be like, here's your sign.
Pray to a real god.
They
pray
look at
to
it.
Helm.
They look at it, and some of them do stop, and others pray harder. This is not going to be a over in an instant situation. This is 200 years of constant enslavement and indoctrination to Navixel. It's a generational issue. But for Tycan, this is going to take a very long time to get them out of the level of indoctrination they've had.
Well, there's nothing.
Can.
Yeah, there's nothing that we can do immediately, but they did. I'll just reiterate the fact that the real God saved all your children here today. You should bow down to Tycan.
I'm back.
Welcome back. Eliza does approach you all and says, "We'll do what we can here to begin this process, but it will be a long process." And Fela approaches as well. Where is she? Fela approaches you as well. Says, "You've done so much for us all. I'll make sure they're looked after. The swamp is ours now." As the now cured people are rejoined with the prisoners, and they are beginning to be led off by Fela and her surviving loyalists. The Bullywugs don't approach, as there's always been some animosity between them in the swamp, but there is a few of them sort of nod at you walking past, leading the still wounded Froghemoth off to wherever they live in the swamp.
Yeah.
It seems this battle is concluded. What now begins is probably going to be years of re-education on the remaining people. It is a victory, but a hollow victory with how many died.
Yeah.
You all regather. What do you all do?
We need to go and report as well as make sure everyone else is alright. Like, I'm guessing we've spoken with most of the people here that of importance, I should say.
Yeah, everyone of importance is generally in this general vicinity.
Like, you know,
So there was the Bullywugs, there's the Waterdeep people
yeah.
with Verge, Phaela, you just spoke to her.
Yeah, Phaela. That was the big one as
Hmm.
well. So.
Yep. Again, Phaela survived.
Yay!
Wounded, but the process of retaking the swamp is the big issue's been dealt with, and now it's a slow recovery.
Mhm.
You do also see, after the prisoners are all cured, you do see a really nice moment where Shale and Sandir, who are the two members of the Blue Moon, the two elves that you recall, these are the elves that were with the Melandrax. These two elves,
Yeah.
the ones that left and joined the Blue Moon. You do see a moment where Queen Melandrak pardons them for leaving.
Yeah.
And there is a moment of they're not there, but they're sort of just off to the side. You see them both kneeling before the Queen, and she pardons them, and there's some reconciliation going on there.
Mm-hmm. I'll go up to Eliza real
Yep.
quick. And I'll say, what forest was it called again? Was it the Misty Forest?
The Misty Forest.
I'll say, I'd point over to the Queen Melandrak and the elves.
Yep.
And say the Misty Forest was completely wiped out by Nivixal, and we're going to need efforts to try and get it rejuvenated once more. I'm not going to ask you to, completely forgo and lose your valued allies, but it might be good for people who used to be very faithful until Nifixal's influence to actually go and help with that every now and again. I was also going to ask what you were going to be doing now after all this, because there is more dragons at play and there's more danger on the horizon.
I'll say you're all around for this. As Eliza nods and says, that's a good idea. Helping fix what they've done will certainly set them on the right path. To be honest, it's been the Order of the Blue Moon's goal since this whole thing started to take down Nivixal.
Mm-hmm.
Given the losses we've suffered here today, it will take some time to, well, there are recruits who it may come to be their time to join up, or to become a full-fledged member of the Blue Moon. Our focus will
offer a suggestion.
Hmm.
The Blue Moon wasn't always nomadic.
Yes, I'm aware of that, of their past.
Mm-hmm.
But it's been the last 200 years, our efforts have been focused entirely on Nivixal.
Indeed.
Up until that portal, anyway. We'll regroup here. We'll help rebuild. That's our first goal. Not just in the battle, but helping fix up after the battle.
Do you wish to go back to your old ways after this endeavor, or are you going to find a new goal?
I'll need to speak with the other leaders, but I think we know what our next goal is, and she looks to the east where the volcanoes are on the horizon.
Do you want me to put in a word to Waterdeep?
Yeah, what's up?
That would be best, I think, if you could do that.
I'll relay the fact of your. I'll relay your goals and where your plans lie. I'll relay the fact that you are going to help this realm recover and then start preparing towards Ashithindar's realm.
Yes, like I said, I need to speak to the leaders. It's not my decision entirely. It's up to all of us. But
That's fine. I'm not.
But Ashthindar, I believe, is the biggest threat at this point.
Well, I'm fine with that because, just so you know, our goals align to a certain extent. It's just the fact that we have a few more dragons to deal with before Ashthindar. So.
I understand.
The dragons are going to get stronger again very soon. We're going to be taking on the one to the north. So.
The Arzenag or the far north?
Far north.
I see.
Yes.
Well, as you all know, she looks at all of you. The Order of the Blue Moon is relatively few in number. We have to pick our battles. Let us know when you're ready to move on the next one.
I'll be in touch.
Us.
I wish you luck.
And I wish you luck. The Frozen North. Carry our banner with pride.
Always did. Always
Very
will.
good. Very good. With that, she nods her head at all of you in respect and proceeds to move off and rally people around her to begin the process of a rebuilding.
We have our own work to do too.
As you watch as the prisoners are led off, separated into groups, keeping families together where they can. Some are led off by Phaela, who offers you her thanks as well, as they're going to start rebuilding towns and settlements in the swamps. Other groups of the prisoners are led off in the direction of the Misty Forest. Queen Melindrak leading the way. She does inform you that she will transport herself to Waterdeep to see her husband, if that would be permitted.
I would have to give a formal request to the council, and I'll get back to you on that. But I'm sure that things may change if he does see your face. But that is something not in my jurisdiction to give you a definitive answer on right now.
Yes, I understand. If he has to pay for his crimes, then I would like to see him one more time.
One moment, I'm getting a phone call.
Okay. Ignar says to you all, well, that was a lot of fun. Killing the dragon was great.
I can nod at that.
It's like, you were there?
I was. I helped. But this situation, just as the prisoners, was less than ideal. But I suppose that's what happens. I'd like to stay here and help them, if that's all right with you.
Sure.
You can do whatever you want.
You know where to find us. You know how to contact us. So. And if not, I know where to find you, and I'm definitely going to get in contact with you because it's me.
Yes.
As creepy as that sounds, that's just what wizards do.
Oh no, I get it. I get it. It's fine. Well, I'd like to help them rebuild somewhat.
Well, if you put
Try to erase the memory of Navixel from the world.
Well, you're probably a very beneficial person to do that with your own beliefs.
Mm.
Saves Tyken having to come every week to give them a helm pep talk.
Mm.
Isn't that right, big fella?
He gives a
Nudge,
chuckle.
nudge, 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 nudge.
Yeah, you saved them from Tyken's preaching. Good job.
Yeah, I know, right?
She
I have a tendency to go on a little longer than I should. He smiles.
says, Igna's about to leave, and she says, "You will. If you do happen to manage to locate any smaller red dragons that I could perhaps take a cloak from, that'd be good."
Red? Alright. Noted.
I can look it up
Well-
and go over to Igna. Because certainly. And they'll give her a hug. Goodbye.
She hugs you back somewhat.
Mm-hmm.
She's a lot shorter than you. And says, "See you soon."
See you
Jeez.
soon.
And she nods at you, Scarlet.
She nods back.
I'm gonna get a lot stronger.
I bet you will.
Don't slack off. Next time, I want a one-on-one duel, and I'm gonna win.
I don't have the liberty to slack.
Good. And she turns and walks away. Beep, 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 beep. Valiant approaches you all. Says, "While I'd like to stay here and help fix things up, I think it's time I face the council with my own mind."
Indeed.
And put a hand on his shoulder and say, "You'll find that the council's very understanding of what happened."
While they may forgive me, I need to forgive myself, and this will take time. But I'm ready to face them.
Oh, let's go.
As people begin moving in different directions, as you prepare to send yourselves where, Archie?
I am going to a very, very, very known teleportation circle.
Vigil?
No. Waterdeep.
Ah.
Asmodeus' throne room.
Yes. I'm going into Mammon's treasury.
Oh yeah,
You know-
fair enough.
Fun fact about Asmodeus. That humanoid depiction of Asmodeus is actually totally wrong. That's just a facade.
Hmm.
The real Asmodeus hides.
Hmm.
Just a fun fact.
As you teleport to Waterdeep, yes?
Yep, to the council chambers room.
Okay. As you appear in a flash, suddenly you are out of the mud and you appear blunk, in the council chambers in the Waterdeep Palace arrival room. The moment you appear, all the mud that's on you just drops off onto the floor.
I clean.
There are 4 Waterdeep soldiers in full plate who see you and go, "Oh, the mud on the floor," and then it all disappears. And they're like, "Okay." Thank goodness. Lady Silverhand would have been so angry.
Oh, that's why I did it. If I displease the lady, then, you know.
Yes. Oh, Councillor Valiant, you've returned. And he sort of says, "Yes, I have. Thank you." And one of the guards sort of approaches all of you and sort of whispers, "Is he to be escorted still, or
No, he can come with us.
Okay, very good, very good, very good.
Where is Lady Silverhand at this current moment?
She's in a meeting currently, with some of the other council members. This way,
Well, that's
please,
perfect.
please.
How was
As you are led by the soldier through the corridors of the beautifully decorated and always clean palace of Waterdeep. As you are led along to the large double doors, which the guard then opens for you.
Yep.
And within, you see a few people. You see Lady Silverhand. You see Orlam. You see Tasha. You see Ontharr.
There he is!
Man, everyone's here.
You see those 5. The other members of the
Oh.
council are not currently here.
Yeah,
And
Kira hasn't been around for a while.
as the doors open, immediately the sounds of shouting
Okay.
fill the chamber.
Mm.
Orlam.
I throw in
Or,
the dragon head.
As the dragon head is being dragged through the corridor as well. Orlam is shouting, saying, "What? What do you mean? Only 400 of our best fighters have fallen." And Ontharr responds with, "A worthy sacrifice to take down a black dragon." Lady Silverhand is remaining quiet as this shouting match is continuing. It seems Orlam is not happy about the amount of losses suffered during the battle that have been reported back from some of the other soldiers that went to the swamp.
400 soldiers, you say? It's a good thing that we saved 312 other people, as well as the rest of the realm there, as well as gain more allies with the bullywugs, as well as the blue moon. With losses comes great opportunities and greater allies. Wouldn't you agree, Orlam?
Orlam slams his little halfling fist on the table and actually makes quite a loud noise. He's quite strong for a halfling. He says, "With those sort of losses, Blackhelm Tower is basically defenseless."
Were
Then
you
we'll need to find others to defend it.
He says, "This is abysmal." He starts muttering to himself and says, "Waterdeep cannot stand such losses."
Waterdeep has a lot of people that are sitting and doing nothing, with no direction. That includes soldiers that are trying to keep the peace, but can't keep the peace when we're flooded with population. This is why we're trying to expand the realm, so we can actually get people to do things and actually get more warriors, as well as more infrastructure, as well as more trade.
Orlam glares at you and says, "This is the largest single loss of soldiers that we have had since."
200 years ago.
At which point Ontharr says, "Since when, Orlam? Since when?"
I would just like to mention that those 400 soldiers didn't even encounter the dragon. Think of the losses if we weren't there. So instead of thinking about that, think of a way to move forward and get over it.
Orlam just growls under his breath. At which point Ontharr stands up and with his walking stick approaches you, Scarlet.
Hmm.
And he steps around the big dragon skull that Tyken's dragging through. And says, You did it though, yes?
She points to the head.
Yes. I want to hear it from you.
Yes.
Oh, I'm so proud of you, and he just gives you a big bear hug.
Ah!
He says, I know you don't want to hear it, but your father will be proud.
Thank you.
He pats you on the head. Pat, pat. Lady Silverhand finally speaks up as Orlam seems to have calmed down and stopped yelling and says, well, we've received preliminary reports from it. While the losses are terrible, the gains, as you said, Archie, are. They outweigh the losses, as hard as that is.
Yeah, when it comes to trying to reclaim realms and defend yourself, there is going to be losses on either side, and on this day, TMS cohorts lost a lot more, and we gained a lot more from what just happened. War and fighting is not a very gracious thing, as we all know. And if we want to get what is rightfully ours, we will have to fight to our last breath, which we are currently doing. And that's only going to get harder with time, with the more dragons we take down. So, and this is why I have a failsafe ready to be in play at some point, and hopefully it works. But for now, we are here to report on the situation about Nivixol and what happened within the swamps.
Lady Sylvan nods and says, well, some of us, and she just shifts the gaze towards Orlam and says, some of us are looking forward to hearing what you've learned.
Well, first of all, Nivixol did not think that we would be able to save a lot of the beings of the swamp, and had implanted several civilians and dedicated warriors with slard tadpoles. But he underestimated my ego, let's say. They have all been saved. All the tadpoles have been removed, all 311 of them.
As you say that, Archie, Seokira the Wise, who you know to be a dragon, a gold dragon, who's been sitting quietly and just sort of watching this, raises an eyebrow.
We saved as many as we could, but obviously a lot of 200 years of worship to Nivixol has a lot of people and a lot of generational people still praying for their god to return. And that will take time. There are valuable allies there that are going to help rebuild, including the Order of the Blue Moon, as well as some personal allies of our own that are willing to help, not have. That being said, Nivixol is dead. We have his head. We have
you
all
say
his
that
scales.
Tychon kicks the head.
Onthar, who's near you as well, sort of just pokes the skull with his walking stick.
As you can see.
Seems dead to me.
But that being said, there is something I wish to show you. Tychon, can I have the gem?
Here you are.
Tychon, the moment you pull the gem out of the bag of holding, you take 7 points of poison damage. Sorry, of acid damage.
Careful, it hurts.
Yep.
I would have a cloth or something to hold it.
Do you have the mage hand spell?
I do.
I do not.
I can use Mage Hand.
Okay. As Thanraya, you briefly mutter the incantation, and a mage hand grabs it. The mage hand hisses as it holds it, but doesn't take any acid damage. The council all goes quiet as they look at it. Tasha looks at it with great interest.
This gem that we found in the dragon, I feel like all the others will have it as well. It was allowing to Nivixal to regenerate as long as he was in acid, even though he was dead. I'm guessing these gems might have been implanted by Tiamat or something else to give them greater powers. Also, once this was removed and Nivixal was finally laid to rest, all the other dragons gained more power. I'm guessing these gems were a spread of power between the dragons of the chromatic variety, and now that one is out of play, the other four have gotten stronger. That is my deduction, to say the least.
Tasha steps up and says, "May I take a look?"
Sure.
As she moves up, doesn't touch it, but sort of waves her hands over it and begins to do some incantations and some magic. Tasha extends the magic to all of you, so you do get a sense of what she's doing.
Mhm.
As Tasha's magic doesn't dispel the gem, but sort of suppresses aspects of it.
Yeah.
And as she does, she reveals the core of this gem. Something that is very familiar for you, Thanrea.
Shit. Okay.
Its core is of the Hells. Its core, you all realize, it was made in the Hells. It was produced by a very specific archdevil.
Son of a bitch.
Bell.
Yes, you all get that.
I literally, I would look at it and be like, that motherfucker.
Well, hasn't this made the plot thinnen a little bit? Archie says out loud. I thought I had been done in the Hells, but it looks like I'm going to have to go back there at some point. There's been a very naughty archdevil. Fedra is like, why does it always come back to me? I think I got rid of this 20 episodes ago.
Tasha moves the arcane sigil slightly and begins to examine the various layers. Archie, make an Arcana check.
I mean, the Archie will help.
Yes.
As I Arcana check. Bruh, Archie's mind is absolutely lit up today. He is ready to think.
As Archie, you look at this as Tasha helps with the expanded identify spell, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
You and Tasha share a look. You both know what you're looking at.
Mm-hmm.
This gem, indeed, you are right, Archie, does share power with the other main chromatic dragons.
Yeah.
Piece candy, I eat it.
And now that it's been removed from Nivixal,
Yep.
it has indeed empowered the others.
Yes.
You're not sure to what extent, but it does empower the others. Now that it is removed. In particular, Archie, it doesn't need the dragon to die for the empowerment to happen. It simply needs to be removed.
Interesting.
There's also something of a divine connection, part of Bell's machinations.
Yep. You're not going to like what I'm thinking here, Matt, soon that I'm going to tell you after all this.
No, that's fine.
I have an idea as well.
Same.
There is something of a divine connection that you, Archie, and Tasha both pick up on. This is also an anchor of sorts, anchoring Tiamat's power in the material plane. With the removal of the gem, while the other chromatics have been empowered, it also somewhat lessens Tiamat's power in the material plane. You get a sense her battle in the stars with the gods is going to be going a lot worse for her now than it was before.
Welcome, Mom.
But the thing is, the more that we take out, the more she's going to get pissed off.
Yes. Yes, you're absolutely certain of that.
She's already pissed off. She's like, something has happened.
Mm.
She would know, and she'd.
I would like to ask, is the information about the gem shared between us?
Does Archie share this?
I would share it, yes.
Okay. I would like to ask if the assumption is that the gem needs to be removed, if we cut the head, limbs, and everything off of the dragon and just leave it a clump of meat with the gem in it, does that mean that it won't give its power to the other gems? If we make a dragon nugget, so to speak.
You did see, while you badly wounded Navixel during that battle, he was regenerating limbs.
Yes, but that was in the acid.
Yes.
Right, but if we take the body away from the location where they can heal, it would just
They'll still have the breath weapon.
They'd still have the breath weapon.
Not if it hasn't got a head.
That much is unclear.
What do you mean?
I see.
It literally just got said. It literally just got said that the gem needs to be removed for the power to go to the other gems. So if we literally cut everything off of the dragon, including the head, like the neck and that, literally just have a torso with the gem in it, and seal it somewhere where it can't regenerate, then it won't share the power between the other dragons. And it can't use a breath weapon without the head and neck. That would be my assumption.
Yes. Right. Yes. So sorry, I misinterpreted what you said. Yes, you believe. Yes, you believe that would work. Okay. However, Tiamat's tether would remain.
That's fine. If we make dino nuggets, if we make dragon nuggets out of all of them and then remove them all at the same time, that would be a lot better. That is my understanding that I convey.
Well, you would like what I've been thinking, Josh.
Yes.
So Tyken would want to look and see if there's a way he can possibly work on this to undo the Hell's influence on it, because he has an idea.
There is another aspect, Archie, that you ascertained with the 29 on Arcana. Archie, you are fairly certain that while the tether to Tiamat has been lessened by not being in the dragon anymore, there is another thing that you notice that you ascertain. Sorry, I'm looking at my
snap.
There is something else. If I can find, there it is. Hello. Archie, you're pretty sure you could break this gem if you really had set your mind to it. It's still active.
Okay.
Still active. You're pretty sure you could break it, Archie.
Break the gem?
You're pretty sure you could break it.
Tyken did want to try something before we break it.
However, the effects could be a bit chaotic if you broke it here. You're pretty sure if it was broken in the presence of Tiamat, it would massively hurt her.
Matt.
Yes.
So, you're going to love this, right?
Yes.
Here's my idea. I make a Thanos gauntlet.
Yes.
And start putting all the gems in it.
Yes, I'm with you.
And I use that against Tiamat.
Paint yourself purple.
Well, it's more along the lines of like using the gems in some sort of like it doesn't have to be a gauntlet, but like some sort of mecha armor or some sort of dragonoid mate like attuned
Yeah.
sort of item
Funny you
to.
Sort of
should
like-
mention armor. That's what Tyson was looking at, thinking about doing.
Because I was thinking like imagine Tycan with 5 dragon gems in full plate, working in harmony, and then all of a sudden he becomes gargantuan.
Mm.
Just this fucking. Oh, it'd be like Pacific Rim. You just see the giant fucking sword.
Is it the giant tycoon wandering in.
Yeah.
I'm about to pick you, bitch. Puts in headlock.
You could potentially do that. What you ascertain from from Tasha, however, with your Arcana check, Archie.
Yeah.
If these gems were broken within a fairly close proximity to Tiamat, that would significantly wound her.
Well, the thing is, here's the deal. We use the gems to fight her, and then when she's weak, we,
Yeah.
I might have to do the old, ye old. I am going to create a black hole
Mm.
trick.
Mm.
Because I do have a portable hole, and I do have a bag of holding.
Mm. So Archie, to that extent, you're pretty sure if you did that, you could essentially, if everything goes right, Archie, and that's not saying it's guaranteed, but it could potentially do it.
Yep.
You could potentially Thanos snap Tiamat back to the Hells.
Yes, that's my thing. Because the thing is, we also have the thing from Baphomet to lock her down.
Yeah.
And basically, the thing is, I'm basically thinking we weaken her, and then Tycan is just like, I'm inevitable.
Yeah.
For some reason, I just thought Tycan like RKOing off of like a mountain, just fucking
It's Tycan with a steel chair.
dragon.
Tycan is the spine of the world.
Tycan off the spine of the world with a steel chair.
And then you just hear that all the 4 Titans that release are the fucking commentators. The friggin' Tycan friggin' tag teams the fucking Earth Titan to come in. Gives him a freaking stone steel chair.
Mm.
The ring's just made out of wind.
But yeah, you learn that about the gem.
Man. Basically, I understand, but to wrap up before I need to go and do things.
Yep.
I'm going to want to divulge more in this council chamber, and I really want to talk to Siokara because she's always been quiet, and her showing any sort of emotion to what we did is a very big deal to Archibald. Archibald would say, overall, there is a few things that I'll ask before we head off. Before we get into more other nitty gritty details. As you all know, the Misty Forest was pretty much destroyed, and a lot of the Misty Forest remnants that were taken were under the thrall of Nivixol. We have saved them as well, and we are looking to revitalize the Misty Forest to back the way it was, with Queen Melandrak, who is still alive, at its head.
There's a moment of silence as you say that.
That being said, she had one request, and that is to see her husband before he is removed.
Her husband, the war criminal, says Orlam.
Yes, her husband, the war criminal that was also getting used by Nivixol. One who lost all his family to Nivixel's reign and lost all his home because of the choice that he ended up having to make. Orlam, I wish to partake to you. Would you sacrifice Waterdeep to save your family?
Never. Duty comes first.
So,
I mean-
are you putting yourself in the same shoes as Melindrak?
No, I am not.
Because that's what he did. He saved the Misty Forest until we stepped in turn, got him locked up, which got his family and the Misty Forest killed. I'm not saying for him to not atone for his crimes, he has already stated that, but for him to be able to see his wife once more would probably allow him to rest in peace.
I honestly think that he should not be executed.
I want to talk to the council about a different thing for Melindrak that is a bit uncouth. But for now, I'll leave it as it is and put the request forward that was of Queen Melindrak, in that she wishes to at least reconvene with her husband once before he passes away.
Orlam says, I will not stand for this. He's a war criminal. He isn't deserving of any rights at all. At which point Siokira finally speaks up for the first time and says, she will be allowed to see him. That is my judgment.
What does Olam say to that?
He just shuts up.
Oh, we have found the authority here. Got it.
Yeah.
I agree with Siokira. I believe that she should be able to see him. Even though I am not a part of the council.
Siokira nods and says, justice must be done.
Does that mean
But-
Valiant's getting punished as well?
Siokira looks at Valiant and says, he will face punishment for what he has done, but it was not entirely his doing,
No,
so his punishment will be less.
he will not face any.
No, I believe there should be punishment for people's actions as well.
I'm not
He
saying don't.
wasn't under control of himself.
I'm
He
not
was being
saying.
puppeted.
And
That
yet, 3 villages lay in ruins due to his weakness of will.
That couldn't be helped. He will not be punished.
There will be
Taki.
justice.
Tyken, I have a question for you, buddy.
Hmm.
My man. If you're the one that got mind controlled and you destroyed the villages, would you feel okay getting off without punishment? Because Valiant is a righteous individual, and whether you think he doesn't deserve punishment, I bet you he does.
He's already stated that he's wishing and willing to face any punishment that is given.
And Valiant
So,
Valiant does speak up and say, I'm willing to face your judgment, as he bows his head to Siokira. And Siokira says, Your crimes were not your own doing, but they were your crimes. That will be taken into account. That it wasn't your doing. But judgment must be passed.
And all I'm saying is I believe Melindrak didn't make it. Now this is going to be controversial here. I don't think he made the wrong choice.
Hmm.
I think he did what he thought was best for his people. Therefore, I don't believe he deserves the death sentence. Do I believe he deserves to be punished? Yes. He shouldn't be king anymore, obviously.
That's
But
not us for us to decide whether he's king of the Misty Forest. For us to decide is stuff within Waterdeep.
true.
A resignation from the council would be more fitting, as well as not being able to set foot in Waterdeep ever again is also a banishment. But that being said, I believe that a lot of these judgment calls and stuff should be out of character, left till next week.
Yes,
But in
it is going to be
like,
a big conversation.
should be talked about in full after a night's rest. But for now, Nivixol has been dealt with. We have figured out stuff about these gems. There will be plans that I wish to lay after a good night's rest, and I would like to talk to several people. And the people here, as well as the people that aren't present, I would like to have some sort of audience with, whether it be one-on-one or in a group. I do not mind, as it might seem like we have taken a big step, but this battle has just begun.
Agreed, says Lady Silverhand. You've just fought and killed a black dragon. Go and rest. We will convene the council in the morning.
Very well.
All who can attend.
Very
I do
well.
have one last question for Lady Silverhand.
Hmm.
I've not heard any recent developments, but what of the dragon Avatarus?
I'll look that up again. Did I save that? I'm pretty sure I saved it.
Is that
You
a
always
silver
say
one?
things, Matt.
Avaturus?
It's like Avataris, something like that. It's hard to spell. It's a really weird spell. Let me find it. The reason why Tyken's asking because he would have heard of this dragon for one, and she was known to have some sort of relationship with Silverhand.
I think you sent me it, right?
And if I didn't, here you go.
Thank you. Um. Lady Silverhand says, no, there's been no word of them for 200 years. Not since Tiamat's rise.
Ride with
recall.
me, ride with me,
Was-
ride with me. Rice with me.
I will personally look into this tonight,
Right.
and that will be something on the agenda for the meeting tomorrow.
Right. Which I'm pretty sure I know what happened to her mate. Her mate used to have the territory where Frigidex is. I'm pretty sure we know what happened there.
Hmm.
I think a new sheriff rolled in the town. That's my theory.
Yeah, yeah. But Lady Sylvan says she'll look into it, and for the sake of because things need to go. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
With that, you are all sent off. Valiant goes off to have a private meeting with Akira. You get a sense is the arbiter of justice on the Council of Waterdeep.
Justice, retribution.
As the meeting is adjourned, it is the evening. You all go back to Scarlet's Manor, yes?
Yes.
As you all go back to Scarlet's Manor, Onthar goes with you.
Yes.
Yeah.
And makes a quick stop to get a not one, not two, but 3 kegs of alcohol.
Let's go.
Ah.
Yeah, something
He
tells
knows
me you're
how
gonna
to
need it.
celebrate. He knows that Tyken's gonna have 2 kegs.
He hands 1 keg to Tycan and says, 1 for you. He hands you an entire keg.
I felt like you know how some people drink like straight out of the milk jug. I felt like he's drinking straight out of the keg.
Ontharr says, 1 for me, and 1 for the rest of you.
Very good. Let's bring it to the estate.
As the kegs are taken to the estate, you get to the estate, walking through the streets full of homeless people that are living in the street. The streets are still very overcrowded.
Yeah.
Mm.
But you do get to the Greylock estate.
With that,
Yep.
I need to leave.
Step in the estate, and Ontharr cracks a keg as you're opening the door, Scarlet.
Yo.
I guess Tyken probably just like shotgun a keg.
Hmm.
He'd literally do the
Um,
thing from like Shrek where he just uses the keg to wipe out 3 enemies, but he just does it and just
Hmm.
drinks it.
And as you begin a night of drinking in the estate, celebrating your victory, that's what I'll call it there.
Thank you for session. Let's pick it up.
Thank you for a short session of 2 hours.
Yeah, my bad. I was having internet trouble, so I got here late.
That's okay. I'll blame Sol.
All right, cool.
I refuse.
Lies inside. Anyway, thank you all for play.
Thank you for being
Thank you,
out.
DM.
I will post in Discord as to whether or not I have to start my work next week or the week after.
No problemo.
Because I don't know yet.
Depending if we do a game on Monday or Tuesday next week, depends on if I can really play anyway. So because I might be out Monday next week, so
Just
high
let
possibility.
us know.
I will post in the Discord with an eye picture because that's pretty good.
Which
Yeah.
one?
Yeah.
One of the one
All
of
right, I gotta go. Thanks for the session,
Okay.
Matt.
Thank you for play. See you, bye.
See you, bye.
Bye, everybody. You have a good one.
It's funny, you can make
Okay.
infinite amount more Aya pictures now.
I can.
Yeah.
Thank you for DM.
Thank you for play. See you, bye.
See you, bye. Thanks
See you, bye.
everyone for coming to the
Um,
stream, and I'll see you guys next time.
What do you mean?